2 school board forums. First, I have the great pleasure of speaking with candidates from Clinton City Schools, and then following our conversation, I'll be joined by candidates from Sampson County Schools. So joining us today for this conversation are Dr. Linda Brunson, Dr. Oscar Rodriguez, and Mr. Jason Walters. And so let's give all of them a round of applause. We're also so appreciative for our local citizens who have joined us for this conversation, so please give yourselves a round of applause. So now I'm going to give some guidelines for tonight so that we're all on the same page. And so each individual will have 90 seconds for opening remarks. Each individual will then have 90 seconds to respond to each question. A yellow card, please hold up the yellow card, will appear when individuals have 30 seconds remaining. A red card will indicate that the time has concluded. If individuals exceed the 90-second time allotment, I will give you a gentle reminder. So we want to make sure we adhere to our time limits. So we want to make sure that this is a fair process for all of our candidates. So our candidates are seated alphabetically. Dr. Brunson will be the first respondent for the first question. Dr. Rodriguez will answer the second question first, and Mr. Walters will answer the third question first, and then we'll continue to rotate so that we'll have that fairness. After the moderated forum, citizens will have an opportunity to ask questions during our lightning round. And so we want everybody to share with us your thoughts. So if you are going to ask some questions, we ask you to go to the podium, and we want you to develop succinct questions, because this is a lightning round. The candidates will only have 30 seconds to respond for the lightning round. So we have some note cards in the back if you want to write your questions and write your thoughts, just so we can make sure that we have fairness. All right, so now we're going to get started with the Clinton City Board of Education Forum. So Dr. Brunson, and then the other individuals will proceed after she finishes. Please provide us with some background information about you and share why you want to be elected or re-elected to the Clinton City Schools Board of Education.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. I am Dr. Linda Strickland Brunson. I'm a graduate of Clinton High School, proud to be a dark horse. I also graduated from Winston-Salem State University, Fayetteville State, and 2 times from East Carolina University. I'm a retired associate superintendent from Clinton City Schools. I've been a teacher assistant, a teacher, assistant principal, instructional coach. In my last job at Clinton City Schools was an associate superintendent for HR and administration. Also worked as an accountability specialist for the Department of Public Instruction for a while. I currently teach part-time in the East Carolina University Educational Leadership Department as an associate professor. I was appointed to the Clinton City Board of Education in May of 2018, and I've been served as the chairperson of the board since July of that same year. I am seeking to retain my seat on the board to continue working for the children in our district. Our district has a lofty vision to be the premier learning community in the Southeast by 2025, improving the world one dark horse at a time. I truly believe that we can realize this vision with the right leadership. Everyone must do whatever it takes to make this happen. I want to help create opportunities for all the children to reach their maximum potential. We must continue to work to put a highly qualified, caring teacher in every classroom, a highly skilled principal in every building in order to make this happen. We must do things intentionally. We need to improve equity, maximize student achievement, and work to close the achievement and opportunity gaps. The board can provide leadership through teamwork and commitment to this vision. I enjoy serving my community in this capacity, and I would appreciate your vote and support if you haven't voted already. Thank you.
Dr. Rodriguez.
Good evening, folks, and thank you for allowing me the time to be with you this evening. I am Dr. Oscar Rodriguez. I am a Clinton resident. Been a Clinton resident for the past 19 years. I am a graduate of Sampson Community College, the University of Mount Olive, and I completed my doctorate at Northeast University. And I am a dedicated educator. I currently work for Shaw University as the Associate Director for All Adult Programs and Online Programs. I have been involved in recreation in different county and city school boards over my time here, and different committees, helping students achieve their potential. I'm all about student success, accountability, equity, and providing each and every child an opportunity to excel. I believe also that we need to continue to have transparency in our schools. We need to have a board that works together every day for our children. We need to work hand in hand. I know we sometimes will not agree on things, but not agreeing means that we cannot work together. So I'm looking for an opportunity for change. I'm looking for an opportunity for innovation. And I'm looking for an opportunity to bring new ideas and the things that I know every day happen in education currently in our society to help our students and our children move forward. Thank you. Mr. Rogers.
Hello, I am Jason Waters. I have served on the Clinton City School Board for 2 terms and I'm seeking a 3rd term. I have a son that's a senior at Clinton High School, and my wife is a school nurse at the Sampson Middle School. I'm a graduate of Oklahoma State University with a degree in industrial engineering, and I work with Schindler Elevator as an engineering manager. I guess like everyone here, there's some experience or background there, but we all represent, and that's what we bring to the board. And I guess I really have 3 motivations for wanting to continue my work on the board. One is the first is kind of a role I've grown into, and that's representative of like industry and the professionals and how we garner students to be ready for the workforce or for college, and how we can partner with the school systems to bring that about. I guess secondly, I represent some of the diverse history on the board because in the short time that we recently hired a superintendent and appointed several people on the board, there's times we came up and said, hey, we made this decision for a certain reason, and we often forget that. And finally, I represent the students with my similar background. I'm from Robinson County, graduate of Hobbton High School, and really I'm a product of a Leandro case where we weren't funded very well, and we certainly didn't have the means to go to college. So that's who I represent.
Thank you all. Next question. What attributes are essential for successful school board members? How do you exhibit these characteristics in your personal and professional life? We'll start with Dr. Rodriguez.
Can you, I was thinking we were going in order, so can you repeat the question? My apologies.
What attributes are essential for successful school board members? How do you exhibit these characteristics in your personal and professional life?
So I think, again, to be a successful school board member, most importantly, you have to have a core value, ethics. You have to have transparency. You have to have communication. I deal with these things every day. And you have to make sound decisions based on the data, based on the communications, and all the information that has been provided to you. As a board member, you have to, again, be able to make the tough decisions, but make those informed. So I deal with this every day. Again, working at Shaw University, I work with student affairs, I work with students. If enrollment, I work with them on student issues, behavior issues, management issues, personnel issues. But I always take into consideration, and I always evaluate the information that has been provided. You have to represent your community. You have to represent your body of students. And in order to do that, you have to be able to have all the information present. So as a board member and as a professional, I like to make sound decisions based on the information that has been provided to me to be effective and to be fair, because nobody should be treated differently. We are all together in the same boat. And one decision from one student should be the decision for all of our students. And it has to be based on those facts. Also supporting our superintendent to be sure that those decisions are within our policies and procedures. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Walters, same question.
Repeat it one more time, sorry, just to make sure.
What attributes are essential for successful school board members? How do you exhibit these characteristics in your personal and professional life?
Well, I think that first of all, attributes, you have to have honesty and represent your face value. if you don't bring your ethics and trust to the school board, then your word is of no account. And certainly representing the students, employees, parents as well, bringing that information from the community back out to the school system so they can see perspective. And also, just sometimes in the mass of the school system, things fall through the cracks, and we're able to step back and look at some of those things through the data and the things that's presented, or from complaints from the community to really drive the changes that we see are necessary. So as far as representation, I think that's important, but I live every day representing who I want to be, and as a Christian, or as a manager, or as a husband or a father, I want to bring that same ethics to the school board, and I'm looking out for the interest of our community, because I feel like that's where our strength lies. Our community is a strong one, it's supportive, and we have a lot to bring to the table because we can grow students to be productive citizens, and we have the means and we have the resources.
Thank you. Dr. Brunson?
Yes, I think an attribute that I possess is my ability to see the big picture and what can go correctly and what can go wrong, and be able to make those decisions based on the information that's given. I read a lot, and I do a lot of research. I think through things, and I think about how it impacts all the children, not one group of children, not one group of adults. So one thing I think is an attribute for me is to be able to see that big picture and what goes on in the district. I also, I feel I'm dedicated. I've been at this business a long time, and I enjoy what I do. I try to help people when I can. I share things with the superintendent that I hear out in the community, suggestions for improvement. So I do a lot of listening. I think it's an attribute as a board member. You can't promise what you're going to do. You can only say, I will share that with the superintendent and hope we can find a viable solution to your problem.
Thank you. Next question. What current Clinton City Schools initiatives or programs make you the most proud? Why? We'll start with Mr. Walters.
Well, we've gone through a lot of changes, and we're really working through some of the programs with the STAR program, and the ones that my history's been in has been with certainly the AIG, because we have content replacement, which I think brings something to the table. What we had that was great that we want to bring back was the Blazing Stars program. At one time, it was an after-school program, and it was grant-based. So we're kind of working toward trying to bridge that gap for kids that don't have the homebound resources to accomplish things, and so we're looking at different programs to bring that along. Certainly we have a strong EC program, I think, too, that I'm proud of, because I hear people that want to transfer to our system to be that support, to have that support from that type of, in our EC program, not that so people from outside the county are moving in to get that EC support. So, and I think that the programs that we have that are based with this college and promise programs that we partner with the college is one of our greater strengths. And I think that the county's done a great job of doing that as well, because they certainly have the early college, and our students have the ability to go to that as well. But just the ability to have that financial burden taken off of the students to take a college class at that price is great, and transfer it to high school and college.
Dr. Brunson?
Mr. Walls just took my answer. It's the College and Career Promise program to make college affordable and accessible for those children who may not be able to attend college. I think it's a great program that will help our county. We know that strong schools build strong communities. So to help our children be able to take college courses while they're at the high school or in the high school to save those parents money. Some of our students could graduate from high school and early college with a 2-year degree, or, you know, well on their way to having a 2-year degree. So I think that's the program that I'm most proud of, that we are engaging in that for our students.
Dr. Rodriguez.
I think, once again, I am going to agree with my colleagues, but to take it a step further, the Career College Promise also allows many of our students to actually take courses while still in high school. So absolutely, early college allows an opportunity for them to go and finish a 2-year degree at the same time while they're finishing high school within the 5-year period, but also having the availability that they can take 2 classes every semester, junior and senior years, and finish these courses at a reduced rate is fundamental, because many students will actually finish with certificates that will allow them to also be job ready. And I think one important thing as a board member, as a supporter of Clinton City Schools, as working with our superintendent, is also the ability to continue to bring these programs that allow many of our students to have an opportunity to finish certificates, finish a paper. Finish that paper that will open that door with our industries, that will allow them also to have a job while attending college or while attending a university, or just go straight to the workforce. So I'm very proud of that Career College Promise program. Also the ESL programs, because again, they focus on the diversity that we have as a community. You know, EC programs, definitely I want to work together hand in hand with our board and with our administration for the Blazing Stars. I see the value in that. A lot of students don't have the opportunity to get home and do the homework because mom and dad are working. So they don't have those opportunities. So by us being able to provide that helping hand, those programs are vital for the success of our students, of each one of them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rodriguez. Let's look at student achievement. Sampson Middle has been designated a low performance school with the school performance grade of D, and the school has not met expected growth in 4 years. As a school board candidate, are you concerned? What changes would you recommend? The first, this question goes first to Dr. Brunson.
Of course, I'm concerned. That's the easy answer to that. The deeper answer to that is the teacher is the closest individual to improving student achievement. We can have great administrators, great board members, but we must have a qualified, caring teacher in every classroom. So we've done a lot to improve the quality of the teachers at all our schools, particularly at our middle school. We're also working on teacher retention. Sometimes we get them in our schools and they do a great job for a couple of years, and then they're on the way to a bigger district, which pays more money, or they have more opportunities in those other cities. So I think what we have to continue to do is to be in those classrooms every day. We have to be in there and observe what's going on in the classrooms. If we see needs for improvement, we need to provide that support so that teachers know that we're there to support them. But if that support doesn't turn them around, then we need to look for other alternatives for that classroom, because every child deserves a highly qualified teacher.
Dr. Rodriguez.
As Dr. Brunson mentioned, and I am a firm believer, this is a big concern. Because, not only because they're in Sampson Middle, so what's their next step? They're going to one of our next schools, and if they're not performing, they might not be prepared. So how are we working with our teachers? Again, how are we working with our administration? What is our data showing us? What is our school administrator informing us? What are those deficiencies that we need to focus in? Is it that we need more professional development? Is it more opportunities for the parents to be engaged? For the teachers, do we need to have mentoring programs? We have a great, vast knowledge in our community with retired teachers. Do we need to have retired teachers come in and provide workshops for teachers to gain that extra knowledge? Do we need to send them to different universities? Create these bonds with the community college, with the NC States, with the Shaw universities, with the Mount Olives, with different institutions that can assist us provide this help to our educators, because again, our educators are providing that future to our students. And again, teacher retention. So are we losing many teachers? Do we need to revisit what we're doing to keep our teachers? I understand that budget is always a concern with every single school system. So do we need to look at maybe benefit packages? Do we need to look at different opportunities for them to stay longer and become those educators that have been here for 30 years? So again, working hand in hand. Thank you. Mr. Walters.
Well, I'm kind of going to have to repeat a lot of what Linda and Dr. Brunson and Dr. Rodriguez said, because in fact, that is part of our problem, is teacher retention. And you know, nowadays a lot of people are not going into the teaching profession because of the financial income that's associated with it. There's good and bad with that, but it's hard to bring in quality teachers, and when we do have quality teachers, we need to develop them. I'm actually very proud that we started a program. I say we, but I can't really take credit for any of this. Our superintendent's doing walkthroughs. They're going into classrooms, they're doing assessments, they're giving feedback. It's constructive feedback. It's not just an evaluation period, it's also a learning and growth type of mechanism. And if they see a deficiency, they address it, and they grow from it. If they don't, then we're able to move on to help them and move them in a different place on our bus, if you would, where they can actually perform and be productive. So I'm very proud of that, and I think that our superintendent and our staff are doing a great job of turning that part of it around. And they're using the data every day to assess the success of the teachers, and we're doing all we can to figure out ways to retain teachers in our community. You know, what brings them to Clinton, so to grow the family base, or something that's going to be a draw, even housing. You know, that we talked about all sorts of ways to grow good teachers to make a difference at that level.
Thank you. Let's continue our conversation around teachers. Let's look at teacher demographics. This is a long question, so listen very closely. It took me a couple minutes to develop this question. According to the school system's racial equity report card, students of color comprise 76% of the school system's demographics, yet teachers of color only represent 27% of Clinton City Schools' teaching force. Digging a little deeper, Black students represent 36% of the student population, is the largest subgroup, while Black teachers only represent 19% of the teaching force. The LatinX student ratio is not proportional as well. What can be done in Clinton City Schools to attract and retain a teaching force that is more proportionally representative of the student demographics? And we will start with Dr. Rodriguez.
Thank you. So what do we do to retain and attract our teachers? Definitely, we need to work hand in hand with our administration, again, superintendent, and our HR folks, to look at our package. You know, is it our benefits? Are we going out and making collaborations with educational programs at all of our universities? You know, all of our universities in the state of North Carolina. So are we going, again, to the NC States, the UNCW? They got great education programs, the ECUs, the Fable States, Shaw University. Where are our graduates going? So now we know. Now we can tailor a recruitment package tailored to what they're looking for. I think a great point is, you know, what benefits do we provide? I think if we start looking at loan forgiveness, I think that could be a great thing. I think child care options. A lot of teachers sometimes don't have child care, or they have to go find that second job. So what are we doing to keep them here? Housing. What opportunities are there out there for loans for housing because you're a teacher in a rural county? So then we get you here, how are we going to keep you? So again, professional development, growth opportunities. A lot of our teachers have dreams, and their dreams could be to be administrators. So what programs are out there to prepare them for that next step? So we bring them in, and then we provide them a package that we can keep them with opportunities for growth. Thank you.
Mr. Walters.
Well, this was an issue that was recognized some time ago, and one of the citizens has spoken about it in the past as well, about having a proportion of demographics to the demographics of the students. So one of the initiatives we started with was first recruiting for predominantly Black and minority campuses. So that was in a directive that was given to the HR group at one time to go out and to see if they could recruit teachers from the traditionally Black campuses. And but what we found was the teachers aren't out there. That's the sad part of it. Nobody's going into the teaching profession because of the pay. And Clinton City Schools actually offers a supplement to draw teachers in and to make them a part of our family. And sometimes it's not about the pay as well. So we did that. We also engaged Teach for America at one time, bringing in students that were lateral entry, if you would, that would also have the training associated with the program from Teach for America. And we also do lateral entry because we want to bring people in that maybe from the industry that can represent that demographic too, and see if we can grow them into teachers and help them get their certificates and degrees to move forward on. So that was our goal. But at last, here we are in the same predicament. So.
Thank you. Dr. Brunson.
I do wish I would have the magic bullet for that, but simply put, we've got to raise our salary levels and benefits packages for not only our teaching force, but our classified staff as well. We have to have adequate funding so that not only we can attract those individuals, but we can keep them in our district. One program that was successful at one point was one that we had in the high school where we worked with students to get them interested in the teaching profession at an early age. By the time they get to Shaw or St. Aug or UNCW or Chapel Hill, it may be too late. They've already garnered their ideas about what they want to be. They hear the news reports. They see the teachers marching in Raleigh to try to get more pay, better pay. So those kids we talk about college and career promise, but they realize that that's not where the money is. So they don't go into the profession. Our pipeline is very limited and it's getting more limited. So we need to begin to work with those students while they're young to try to encourage them and make sure that they understand the value of being a teacher. There are not very many Linda Brunsons that go to Winston-Salem State for their undergraduate degree and want to come back to Clinton High School to teach. That's not happening anymore because they have more opportunities. So we have to do a better job of paying them.
Thank you all so much for that. Next question, speaking of Raleigh and salaries and benefits packages. As a school board member, how will you advocate for Clinton City Schools at the local and state levels? We'll start with Mr. Walters.
Well, at the state level, in my career as a school board member, we've made trips to the legislature, and we've talked to the legislature. When the representatives come to the community colleges, we're there discussing the needs. We're trying to be more fiduciary responsible, and we're putting together packages for our capital needs. Like this, the state of our buildings are just terrible right now, and we're trying to make plans so we have a long-term plan to be able to fund and keep the facilities up. And we're partnering with the local agencies to say, here's our plan, help us go through it. Here's what we need to keep to sustain a workable school system. And so that's where the responsibility is to really the partnerships. But above that, we're still advocating for more funding. And as you know, through the Leandro case before, it showed that we weren't getting the proper funding to adequately educate our children. So whenever we get an opportunity, that's what we're doing. We're advocating for funding and to make education an important part of that. Then our members of our society become contributing to that tax base as well. So that's what it's all about, is creating that cycle.
Dr. Brunson?
I agree with Mr. Waters and that we're at the table. We had the governor's, almost all of the governor's staff at Sampson Community College about a month ago. It's called Hometown Strong. They came as like a think tank that we were there to tell them what issues that we were dealing with in Clinton City Schools. Our finance officer went, our executive director for HR went, and I was a part of that, to make sure the governor and his staff knows what our needs are in Clinton, not what they need in Raleigh or, Chapel Hill or Charlotte Met, or what we need here. So we're there. We also attended a legislative issues forum in Jacksonville back in January. We had legislators there and share with them what our needs were, how we have suffered after all these storms that we've endured in southeastern North Carolina. So we're at the table. We've invited one of our representatives to Clinton. We fed them a little lunch. We had a list. We had compiled a list of things that we need in Clinton City Schools to make things better for all the children that we serve. We keep that conversation going, and we have talked about a trip to Raleigh pretty soon, but they're not in Raleigh right now. So we have to continue to do what we can on the local level to make sure our voices are heard at the state level.
Dr. Rodriguez.
Thank you. I agree with my counterparts. I think, again, local, state level, come out here to the county commissioners, city commissioners, see what's going on in both of our systems. Go to the state level, meet with state and representatives for both branches and all parties. Walk to the table with the needs, with the realistic needs and with a realistic plan of where do we see ourselves in 5-10 years? And how can we address those? What opportunities are out there for funding? What opportunities are out there for grants that our school system can apply to bring those funds in, to be engaged with, and then we become partners. Now that we become partners, we're involved. We're at the table every time, every opportunity that we have, and we're always bringing the needs of our students first, of our community, and of our administration. Go with the administration of our city schools to these tables and show that we have committed staff that wants to work together with our representatives to get these things done. What is it going to take? And not only have the conversation, but then come back and have a plan of action. I believe in a plan of action. If we sit at the table, that might not just do it. What is it going to take for it to happen? What is our plan of action? What are our resources at the school? And let's get that plan of action done with our local and state agencies and representatives. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez. Sampson County does not have any local charter schools. However, there are many private schools. What is your view on voucher programs that allow parents to use public funds to send their children to private schools? And we'll start with Dr. Brunson.
I am a cheerleader for public schools. You can't convince me otherwise that schools and private areas and other ways of schooling are better. I've been with Clinton City Schools all of my life, worked for the district for 33, 40 years, I can't remember now. But public schools are what our children need. We have more offerings. We provide opportunities for all children. We continually look for and create opportunities for all levels of students. We have students with varying needs, varying deficiencies, for advancement. We look for ways for those students that are above and beyond just your normal mediocre student. We have programs for those students as well. So I just think public schools are the way to go, and I'll always be a cheerleader for public schools.
Thank you. Dr. Rodriguez.
So I am standing in front of you, running for the Clinton City Schools Board. I am a champion of the public school system. I believe in this system. I have 2 children currently on this system, a 3rd grader and a 9th grader. 3rd grader's doing pretty good. She's raising the right colors when it's my turn. But, again, we do have deficiencies. That's what we're working forward. That's what I want to come in and work for. How can we make it equal for everybody? How can we raise the achievement gap for everybody? It doesn't matter where you are. How can we get you there? And your success might not be the same one than the student sitting next to you. But I think we do a great job in creating the equity for every single student. And with the public schools, with the leadership that we have, with the group of teachers that we have, we can be successful. But not allowing us the opportunity to work to get that success is hard. But again, if we work together, if we identify these things, we can achieve success. Public schools have been here for many years. I came when it was Dr. Hales, the superintendent. I've seen the changes that we have done. I've seen the progress that we have done. And we can continue to do that progress, and we can achieve the same progress that other schools have achieved, but we got to work together to get there. Thank you.
Mr. Walters.
I mean, it's hard to recap exactly what has already been said, but certainly charter schools started with a purpose at one time, but what they lacked was the accountability that this public school system has to have. The performance levels and so forth are not there for the charter schools. And secondly, a lot of people are putting their kids into private schools because of smaller class sizes and more teaching for their children, which is something that we can offer more of if we have more teachers and can offer a smaller class size because of the funding levels. So I would say that private schools and charter schools are partly a cry for some change, and it really comes down to legislative changes to help support the public system financially with the right teachers, the smaller class sizes if necessary, and to cover the students that may have been the ones that have forgotten that felt like needed a charter school to cover some of their needs. So that's my basic answer.
Thank you. Next question. Does the school system do a good job of involving the general public in the happenings of the district? What communication methods are effective and what can be improved? And we'll start with Dr. Rodriguez.
I think everything can be better. I think we do a good job, but everything can be better. We do newsletters go out. We do our I like to call them our robocalls. We always know, when we have a basketball game, when there's a weather-related issue. But I think we can always improve on everything. I think having more presence in social media, I think that is a big thing in today's society. I think children know social media first, then they hear a voicemail, then they look at a letter. If that phone rings, they're focused on that. So having a larger presence in the Instagrams and the Snapchats and the Facebooks of the world could allow also not only that the district has a bigger exposure, but also our students and the great things that we're doing with them. So can we improve? Improvement is just a word that means growth. We can continue to grow. We can continue to grow, and I am very knowledgeable on the social media side, and I'm contacting students and seeing what they call the likes and the hits that they're getting. So even for emergencies, I think it would be great. So thank you.
Mr. Walters.
Well, again, communication is the key. I think that when my son was in kindergarten, we had a teacher that did a newsletter, and we knew more than any of the other parents because that newsletter went out with what was going on that week and what the events were coming up. Now we use the social media, and I think the big successes they use, I think it's called the Dojo app, where they report back to the parents how the child's performing, if they did a great start that day. And parents, they want to know how their children are doing. And that's the key to getting them involved as well, is telling them this is what's missing, this is what we need to add, here's what you can do to help. And those are the type of communications that we need to start in those foundational levels. Then when they get older, parents are automatically becoming the band parents and the booster club parents and so forth. But it's all about the communication, keeping them involved, bringing them in on parent committees to talk about issues and forums, or either to participate on the feedback as a feedback group. So I think we do a good job of it, but we could always do a better job.
Thank you. Dr. Burton.
I agree, we can always do better. We're always looking for ways to improve our contact with our parents, our homes, and our communities. We have some organizations in our district that I think reach out. Clinton Area Foundation for Education is one of our groups that are led by parents. Our schools have PTAs and PTSOs, boosters clubs, like Dr. Rodriguez said, the robocall, the emails, the texts, the website. So there are a lot of ways that we are trying to reach out to our parents and involve them. I was in a conversation today about an event we're having in the middle of March to invite those parents to our school to share with them about our programs, what we offer, and give their feedback on what we need to do better, because we're always looking for ways to improve that continuous improvement cycle, and we cannot do it by ourselves. We have to involve the entire community, our parents. Dr. Rodriguez talked about retired teachers. I mean, our community is filled with a lot of individuals who have a lot of good ideas, and we're always welcome for them to, even if they don't have a forum, if we don't invite them, they know our doors are welcome for that continuous improvement.
Thank you all so much. All right, so at this time, we're going to hear from our local citizens. Please give our candidates a round of applause for I wasn't too bad on them. All right, so at this time, we're going to hear from some local citizens. Please approach the podium if you have a question and indicate if your question is for an individual or for the entire panel. Don't all rush to be the first person to ask a question.
Your question, you
Yeah, there were
Oh, well, at this time, since we don't have any questions from the audience, we will move to our closing remarks from each of our candidates. This is your last chance. Any other questions? Okay. So, at this time, if each of our candidates could let us know why they should be elected or re-elected to the Clinton City Schools Board of Education, and we will start with Mr. Walters.
Well, I appreciate your vote. I feel like that I want to continue to work with the Clinton City school system. There's things that I feel like we can partner with the industry and grow in those areas. There's always room for growth. I think I bring a level of history that where the board's been and where we don't want to go and where we want to go and grow from. We certainly have evolved over time, and I think only for the better. I would like to help marry more of the industry support to the school systems. We've talked about it a lot. I try to do as much on my individual level by having student interns and offering plant tours or whatever it takes, and growing, for instance, programs like welding that would support our industry, that would also, we partner with the college and with the high schools and so forth, even in the county, and to grow those type of programs. I also want to represent people like that I came from, where a teacher made a difference for a first generation college student. And I might have had to work 2.5 years to get through 5.5 years of school, but there was a motivation there to better myself. And I think that gratitude is why I want to give back to the community, to offer something that I was given to a better life and a better way of life.
Thank you. Dr. Burton.
Thank you. I would just say knowledge, experience, dedication, and passion. I hope you kind of sense the passion in my responses tonight. Marlow had some pretty tough questions, and I hope you understood from my responses how I feel about the plight of the children in Clinton City schools. I know what we do as adults influence their lives. They have very little choice about decisions that we make. So we always have to think, and I teach a leadership class at East Carolina, and one thing I talk to my students about is, if you have the best interests of the children in the forefront of the decisions you make, things will work out. But you have to put adults aside and our wishes and our wants and the politics and all the discussions. You have to put those aside and think about, how does this influence all the children? Not one group of children or one group of adults, but how does it influence the lives of all the children? So I think if we keep that in the forefront of our thinking, we will have better districts in our county and our state, because our children deserve the very best that we can offer them. We're not even sure what all they do need, but if we're always thinking positively and how we might, as adults, things that we may do may be inconvenient for the adults, but if it's in the best interest of children, we should pursue that with 100% of our efforts.
Thank you. We would like to once again thank all of our candidates for our Clinton City Schools Board of Education for joining us for this forum. Please give them all a round of applause. I'm sorry, I almost forgot Dr. Rick Rodriguez.
But it's okay, I'm sitting next to him. So everybody will remember, I was the one they forgot. Thank you, sir, and then I accept your apology. I hope everybody, I'm not about promises. I'm about progress. I'm about change. I want to be an agent of change. I want to be a mentor to these students, a mentor to our city, that a lot of folks know me. They know where I started, where I am. And I think that that's a story that we need to share with our students, that everything is possible for each one of them. Whatever their goal is, Clinton City Schools will help you achieve that success that you want, that each one of them wants. Work hand in hand with my colleagues to achieve that success, provide that support to our administration to keep doing the great work that they're doing, always taking our children as the forefront of everything. We are growing as a community, as a diverse community, so we want to have these opportunities for everybody, so everybody can achieve, once again, success. Because their success is our success. They'll come back to this community. Been here for 19 years. I've given back. I want to continue to give back. And I want to continue to bring us towards progress and towards change for our children. Because again, it might sound as a line, but we all know children are our future. So thank you very much.
Thank you as well, Dr. Rodriguez. Once again, we'd like to thank all of our candidates for joining us for this forum. Please give them all a round of applause. We're going to take a quick break and then we'll be back with candidates for the Sampson County Board of Education. We'll be right back. Individuals who have expressed interest on serving the school board were invited to this event. And same thing for Clinton City Schools. We have invited all candidates this evening. We are appreciative of Mrs. Eleanor Bradshaw, Mr. Nathan Chabot, Mr. Glenn Faison, and Mr. Raymond Hayes for joining us for this event. We are also so appreciative for all of the citizens who have joined us for this event. And I'm going to give some guidelines for tonight's conversation if you weren't with us when we discussed with Clinton City Schools. Each individual will have 90 seconds for opening remarks. Each individual will have 90 seconds to respond to each question. A yellow card will appear when you have 30 seconds remaining. Jillian, can you hold up our yellow card? All right, I've got a new helper helping me. All right, a red card will appear to indicate that the 90 seconds have expired. See, she got it down pat. If a candidate exceeds the 90-second allotment, I will politely intervene, so let's stay on our time schedule. The candidates are seated alphabetically by last name. Mrs. Bradshaw will be the first person to respond to the first question. Mr. Chabot will answer the second question first. Mr. Faison will answer the third question first, and Mr. Hayes will answer the fourth question first. The question order will rotate throughout the event. After the moderated forum, citizens will have an opportunity to ask questions during our lightning round. Get your questions ready. Please ask succinct questions. We have provided some note cards in the back and writing utensils if you want to pre-write your questions for clarity. Each audience member must approach the podium to ask his or her question, whether it is written or not. Candidates will have 30 seconds, because this is our lightning round, to answer those audience questions. Individuals are encouraged to continue dialoguing with candidates after the forum concludes. This is just a chance for us to get the conversation started. We are now going to start our Sampson County Schools Board of Education Forum. So the first question goes to Mrs. Bradshaw. Please provide us with some background information about you, and please share why you want to be elected to the Sampson County Board of Education.
I am Eleanor Bradshaw. I graduated from Hobbton High School. However, since that time, I have lived in the county. My husband, my son, and my two grandsons have attended school in the county school system. I just retired recently from the Sampson County Register of Deeds office. I was registered of deeds, so I have served Sampson County as a public official for 10 years. So I just retired actually to stay home and play with the grandchildren and travel, but all of a sudden it's like, you know what? I think I want to serve on the Board of Education. I think I can, by serving the county, I believe that I have some input that will help us grow and help us to perform better as citizens and as students in the county. What we want to do is get our students to get excited about education, to be able to stay here and be a part of our economic community as time goes on with them. So I feel like that by serving the community, by serving the Board of Education, that we can influence our students in a positive manner.
Thank you. Mr. Chabot, same question.
Good afternoon, or excuse me, good evening. My name is Nathan Chabot. I actually grew up in Cumberland County, and I graduated from North Carolina State University with an undergraduate in animal science and agriculture business management. During my experience in college, I interned with Prestige Farms, kind of got into the Sampson County area. I've been worked for Prestige Farms for several years, then decided I wanted to go into education. One of the big things that drove me going into education was my experience in public schools, being involved in agriculture education and how that pretty much made me who I am today. So when given the opportunity, I decided to be an agriculture educator. I've lived in Sampson County and Turkey in particular for the last 7 years. I'm a current teacher at Clinton High School, agriculture education. This is my 10th year. And if I'm given the opportunity to serve on the Sampson County Board of Education, I feel like this would be a great opportunity for an educator to provide insight and realize what we have going on in our classrooms today, and be advocates for our youth, provide equity for all of our students, and most important, support our community and make this community the greatest it can be. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Faison, same question.
Good evening. First of all, thank you, Mr. Artis, for this opportunity. My name is Glenn Faison. I'm from Turkey, big town in Turkey. My story is pretty much simple. I was born and raised in Sampson County, educated in the Sampson County school system, worked for the Sampson County school system, then thereafter collaborated with Sampson County school system, bringing in programs through the nonprofit I founded, Project Outreach. And now I think it's just my destiny that I should serve on the board. I've done a lot in the community and from different areas, from the outside in. Now I think it's my time to work from the inside out. And so I'm looking forward for the opportunity and excited for next week to come.
Thank you. Mr. Hayes?
Yes, my name is Raymond Hedrick Hayes Jr. I'm a lifelong resident of Ivanhoe, North Carolina, and I am a graduate of Union High School. My daughter is a graduate of Union High School, and my son is currently a junior at sophomore at Union High School, excuse me. My wife also works for Sampson County School and is also a graduate of Lakewood High School. I am local. I have a child that is in the school system currently. Currently, I work for the school system. With that being said, I've been a parent leader prior to my employment with Sampson County Schools. Over 10 years ago, I worked as PTO president in the Union District. I've also worked on the Union District Advisory Board, and those opportunities have afforded me a chance to hear from the parents as well as be a parent leader, and then I became an educator in the district, and now I'm seeking election because I feel that having a child and my experience I would be the best fit for this position if elected.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes. Next question, we'll start with Mr. Chabot. What attributes are essential for successful school board members? How do you exhibit these characteristics in your personal and professional life?
I think the attributes that are needed for a potential school board member is somebody that's obviously a good listener. In this position, we're going to be able to set our bias aside, listen to what our community has, look out for what's best for our students, and provide opportunities for our students. I also think it's important to be able to set goals. We want to kind of develop our direction, our vision for our school board, and I think that's very important for Sampson County Schools. If our goals are met, I think we can always do that by making ourselves accountable. You set goals, you need to make sure that we're going to follow up and do the best for our students, provide the resources that we can to make our teachers, our staff, and all of our students successful for what's needed. I also think being visible. I think it's important to be active in the community. I think it's important to know what's going on in our society, our school systems, and just like I said, listen. If nothing else, be there for the people that want us to better serve their students.
Thank you. Mr. Mason?
I think communication and understanding is first and foremost. Being in a rural area, you got to be able to first relate to the people. We live in a diverse county, and it's very important to be able to communicate with everyone at every level, regardless of economic background, ethnicity, or anything. And so the communication is very important. What I found is, over the years, communication with the board members have gotten a little bit harder, as well as the superintendent office has gotten a little bit harder. And I think they're public service, so they should be available to the community. And when someone comes to them, take the time, make the time to listen, understand whatever their concern is. I found that if we're patting them on the back, they take time. If we have a criticism or something, a concern, and we don't make time. So I think being understanding communication is most important for this position here.
Thank you. Mr. Hayes?
Well, I will also ditto on the communication portion, but also the availability. Someone that is in the community, someone that has a child you're going to be attending their events. So if you're there, whether it's at church, always having that ear, a listening ear, and always be willing to accept what is said and be able to glean and grow from that you might improve on that ideal that was given to you.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes. Mrs. Bradshaw?
I teach notary at the college now, and one of the first things that we start out with is moral turpitude, which means honesty, integrity, and being respectful. So with that, I think we have to exude that to our community. I have to be able to talk with parents, with teachers, and be a part of them. And as was stated earlier, be on the same level, be willing to listen, I have served Sampson County for 10 years, and I know what it's like to listen to people and their concerns when they come in, and I believe that listening and being part of the community, being part of the school system, being aware and wanting to help them and hearing their concerns. We need to talk with parents, we need to talk with students, we need to talk with all of the, with the community themselves to find out what are their concerns and what are their needs, and how can I be a conduit with the board and the finance department to get those issues resolved.
Thank you. Okay, next question. How would you describe equity in education? How would you define equity in education? Does Sampson County Schools provide an equitable education to all students? What measures could you use to exemplify your thoughts? We'll start with Mr. Faison.
There's a thing called the Wallace calculator where you can figure out, take the number of students you're serving and take your budget, and it will tell you how much you're paying, how much each child is getting per student. When I did my research, Sampson County is I won't say failing, but will be somewhat behind in the cost per student in serving our students. I think we can do better with the districts, and I think parent engagement is probably going to be what's going to help us most. Schools, community coming together and help the board, because we know now the state budget hasn't even been officially passed, and so some systems suffer because of that. So I think the community has to come together and find out a way to make sure stuff is equitable and to be able to serve these students. But I think parent engagement, PTO, PTA, the particular name of it, this particular time is now, they're important. Even booster clubs, but making it fair so each district has the same amount equitable for that. I think it depends on the district. It's shown that it's not balanced, so we need to work on, as a county, as a board of education member, serving the entire county, not just certain districts, to make it balanced.
Thank you. Mr. Hayes?
I think Sampson County Schools did the best with what they had to work with as far as economics is concerned, and as far as the resources that are available to the teachers, to the administrators, and to the county district-wide administrators. With that being said, there's always room for improvement, and to ensure that everything is equity, whether it's financially, whether it's resources, teacher assistants, classroom sizes, as well as facility improvements.
Thank you. Mrs. Bradshaw?
I think Sampson County Schools are trying, and I know they do their best to offer an equitable education to all students. I believe that we are using the resources that we have. However, I believe there are more resources out there that we could investigate and bring forward to help our students on all levels. I believe that the students in schools who need extra help, we might try to reinforce those students who need extra tutoring and help. But I think that with the circumstances as they are, I think we are offering what we can. I just think we need to work a little harder to bring more resources to our schools.
Thank you. Mr. Chabot?
Yeah, this is something that not just Sampson County is facing, it's across the state, across the nation. I don't know if y'all are familiar with meritocracy. It's the illusion that hard work can make you rise up. You know, from the ashes you rise. Well, this is not always the case. Some people are just not, I mean, the system's just flawed. It's not set up for all of our students. We have ELs, we have students with disabilities, students with 504s. And so, you know, equity is knowing what our students need to be successful. And I think that's important to provide resources. And we know that funding is an issue, so we gotta be, you know, think outside the box. You know, we got strong community, we got resources. What can these retired teachers, what can some of these people in the community provide for our students to provide that equality? We also want to make sure we set high academic standards. We talk about comparing ourselves to private schools. If we set high academic standards and we reinforce, AP classes, honors classes, provide opportunities for our students, we're not looking for growth necessarily. We want growth, but we want to take that low achiever and provide opportunity for them to succeed. And if we can make our students succeed, then we've done our job as educators.
Thank you, Mr. Chabot. Let's continue our conversation with equity. LatinX and Spanish-speaking families make up roughly 40% of Sampson County Schools demographics, yet the school system does not provide adequate translation and interpretation services. What can be done to better serve Latinx and Spanish-speaking families? We'll start with Mr. Hayes.
I feel that we need to increase the number of school community interpreters, and as well as offer classes, which they are doing through the Sampson County Schools and the community college. We have grown as a system in testing our ESL and our non-English speaking students, and we've seen that progress within our latest testing.
Thank you. Ms. Bradshaw?
Well, as you were saying, I think that the influx of Hispanic students kind of came in quicker and outgrew our resources to help them on an equitable level. But that's something that we need to work on now, is getting teachers who can interpret, maybe Spanish-speaking teachers, minority teachers that can work with these students on a one-to-one level, a little more than what has been done. It's not that the students aren't capable, they're very, very capable, that I think it's just a disadvantage on the language barrier to start with. So just having teachers available to help them, and they would grow abundantly with that help.
Thank you. Mr. Chabot?
This is an issue I see daily, working as an educator in schools. We do have an influx of non-native language students. I think the opportunity for us to, we're behind the eight ball. We really need to step up. We need to provide resources for training, professional development, provide, assistance, whatever is needed to help these students succeed. They want to succeed. They sit in our classrooms every single day, and, they're doing everything they can to learn. So we need to, as an educator, as school board, we need to provide our teachers the resources they need to make these students successful. And I think some of the resources are currently, we currently have them. Tutoring. We can offer that after school. We can find some of our high achievers, our students that are bilingual, and we can work with them after school, tutoring, clubs, organizations, things that doesn't cost us much money. And we can provide these resources, starting small, and kind of see where the need is, maybe do an equity audit, see where our money needs to be spent, stuff like that. And I think that's a great opportunity to fit that need, to fit that void that we see every single day.
Thank you. Mr. Payson?
I think based on what everyone has said, the question is a pretty easy question, and the answer is easy to find more teachers, more resources. I don't think volunteers is going to work, because after a while that sort of wears out. So you got to find resources. I think it's finding more teachers, more individuals that can do the translation there, but the hard part is finding the resources.
Before we start, I would like to add something. We also could look at language immersion classes, especially in the elementary grades, and that would be a plus.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes. All right, next question. What current Sampson County Schools initiatives or programs make you the most proud? Why? We'll start with Mrs. Bradshaw.
Well, I don't know, I'll be honest, I don't know all the programs being offered because I have not served on the board. I do have grandchildren in the school system. I think that, as was spoken to earlier, that the early college program has been such a great asset to a lot of students. I was at the UCARE dinner just last week, and I was talking with one of the students there serving, and he was in early college, and he was so excited, and it was good to see a student be excited about education and moving forward. So that type of program, I know that in the, we also have an FFA program, that the students can have one-on-one, hands-on education and learning about our agriculture. So all the programs that we have, and a lot of them I do not know, that's why I'm here, is to learn and be able to have some input into these programs. We just need to encourage our students to be excited and offer programs that they can get excited and have a passion for learning.
Thank you. Mr. Chabot?
I think one thing we need to really get behind is the SROs. You know, there's grant funding that we have providing SROs at every school, having our students safe. Feeling safe, a comfortable learning environment is key to make our students successful. I think that's very important. We keep the ball rolling on that. Obviously, you know, any opportunity for certifications through the community college, and believe it or not, guys, we offer a lot of these certifications right now on CTE. And there's talk on, you know, what that's going to look like in the future. But we have those resources in our school right now. I think we need to focus more on our, I don't want to say vocational because that's an outdated term, but our hands-on classes, agriculture, construction, carpentry. As you know, in the agriculture community, we need those resources. We need welders. We need people that can build. We need students that can read and tape measure. You know, simple skills like that. And I think if we do provide those resources to those communities, I mean, to our school system, I think we'll be successful every single time.
Thank you. Mr. Mason?
I think after-school programs, there's a program that was done in Hobbton Midway District called the Uplift Program by an agency called Project Outreach. Wait a minute, that's my agency. After-school collaboration with programs that help the students called. There are students that during the school hour may not get everything they need, and after-school programs have proven to be beneficial across the country, and especially the state 21st Century Program in particular, which is a federally funded program that I think really, if every district, every school could have it, it would be outstanding. We've seen the results in the scores.
Yes, one of the wonderful programs that's just started a couple of years ago was the Project Upward Bound program, which I think Mr. Artis, you might know a little bit about. This program is a program where first-generation students, first-generation college students, that they get an opportunity to be introduced to what college life is like, to be able to prepare to become that first-generation college student. And that just opens up a world of opportunity for these students. They get tutoring and get to stay overnight, get to visit college campuses during summer. So that is a wonderful program, as well as the Parenting Partnership Program, which all the school districts have, where parents actually come in and have received training with other parents and volunteers about how they can be an effective parent, as well as mindset training for our teachers of professional development that allows the teacher to be able to meet the child right where they are and to help diffuse situations.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes. Next question. A violation of ethics occurs when a board member does not clearly separate personal and district interests and govern on behalf of the school system. How would you respond when confronted with this conflict yourself? And we'll start with Mr. Chabot.
I think these hard conversations, and this definitely falls into a hard conversation, be very difficult to deal with. You know, we've got three main areas of ethics, ethics of care, ethics of justice, and critique. And I think this definitely falls into justice, doing what's right. I think the biggest thing is if you have that relationship built with your colleagues on the board, if you can provide understanding, if you can talk to them and kind of, you know, settle these differences and look out really what's for the best for our students. I think that would be provide a strong foundational, you know, ethical background. And if the framework is there, you know, it's like planting a commodity. You know, if you provide the resources and the nutrients for the soil, or, you know, the crop's going to grow fine every time. So I think if we can base our, you know, the foundations off these core values, providing these ethics, I don't think we will have to necessarily deal with that situation, although, you know, things happen.
Thank you. Mr. Basin.
As long as if it's been a violation, you have to deal with it. What I found in rural areas, a lot of nepotism going on, so if it's a family member, we tend to want to look the other way, more so than if it's someone that's not related to us. But if they have violated something, then we have to pretty much just deal with it, and pretty much call it what it is. A lot of times in the county, stuff is put on the back burner, and so we are slow to proceed with it. But I think if someone has violated something, then we have to just pretty much deal with it and handle it.
Mr. Hayes?
Integrity is the key here. If you have integrity and you listen and consider the whole of the matter, then you can move forward without any injury to yourself or to the board. So you do everything with integrity.
Thank you. Mrs. Bradshaw?
Repeat the question, please.
A violation of ethics occurs when a board member does not clearly separate personal and district interests and govern on behalf of the school system. How would you respond when confronted with this conflict yourself?
Well, I go back to moral turpitude, honesty, integrity, and morality. I believe I would be able to separate myself from personal feelings. You've got to take a situation and assess it. And I think treating one parent, one student in a situation the same, I can't take favoritism for one situation and then another, and it happens to another student and make a different decision. I think you have to make the same decision for the situation for everybody. And I think being honest about what's going on and being open with it and dealing with it immediately helps everybody that's involved in a particular situation.
Thank you. Next question. For the 2020-2021 academic school year, the school district will follow the innovative year-round school calendar, with the first day for students on August the 10th and the last day before Memorial Day. What are your thoughts about this calendar change? Mr. Faison?
I like it, but I think more importantly, the research should be done with the teachers, the staff, to make sure they were okay with it. But I like it because of the grace it gives throughout the school year.
Thank you. Mr. Hayes?
I personally am in favor of it. Being able to be a parent as well as an employee of Sampson County Schools, and the majority of the teachers were in favor of it. And so I think it will work very well with our students that are taking those community college classes through College of Promise program. So I think it will work very well.
Thank you. Mrs. Bradshaw?
Yes, I was very glad to hear they had made a change in the school schedule. I think with the break in between, I think it would give parents and students time to rest and reboot and be ready to go back to the classroom. I like that.
Mr. Chabot?
You know, as a society, at times we don't like change, so it's a little hard to kind of change things or the ways that we've done things. With all change, there's a little bit of resistance, but I think in the long run, it's going to be the best for our students. It's geared towards the community college, Clinton City as well. The calendar is very similar. So I think, you know, when we have staff working in Clinton City and their students are in Sampson County, you know, that kind of works in favor. Your teachers aren't missing work because of that. And I think from a perspective as far as management, it just makes more sense. Give the teachers a break. As y'all know, if you're educators, PD is nice. It's nice to come back refreshed, have a little bit of reflection on what's going well in your classroom, and your students need that break as well. And so if we can start refreshed and provide the opportunity for our students to succeed, then hey, you know, it's a win-win for the staff, for the teachers, and you know, everybody in our educational field.
Thank you. Next question. What experience do you have with complicated budgets? When you are given a comprehensive budget for the district, which will affect students and employees, what will be your process to determine if it is a good budget for the school system? Mr. Hayes?
Well, first of all, my experience with budgets, I've worked with dropout prevention grants and other grants as the administrator for Union High School. And so I'm very familiar with planning budgets, executing budgets, and how to ensure that the program needs are taken care of. I would bring that same experience to the county budget and ensure that it is equitably distributed throughout the various districts in the county.
Thank you. Mrs. Bradshaw?
I worked, as I said earlier, I worked as a department head in Sampson County for over 10 years, and as department head, I was directly in charge of the budget for my department. So therefore, I have worked, I know what it's like to have to take a small budget and stretch it out. In the first few years, we would cut every year with our budget, but yet my department operated very efficiently with a smaller budget. So I am accustomed to working with budgets, and I believe that you have to take that budget and fit it where the need is the most.
Mr. Shabbat?
My previous work experience, I worked for Prestige Farms. I was an assistant manager on the South Farm. I had 14 employees, raised 4,000 hogs. Every day was about making money. And so, that's what it comes down to in the agriculture industry. I'm also a finishing service man as well, and marketed hogs to Smithfield. We tried to figure out how much money we could get, what was our best bang for our buck, and how soon we needed to sell those hogs to make a profit, considering with weather, natural disasters, and all those things that come into play. Also, as an FFA advisor, I deal with a budget. I took nothing and made it into a self-sustaining program. I think grants are always a great opportunity for us to get the resources that maybe we can't necessarily afford. As y'all know, we have operating budgets, and it's very, very important that we try not to dip into that. We don't spend more than we make, and that's kind of hard as an American society these days, but we need to make sure that we're being profitable and we're doing what's right for our students and spending that money wisely, because it takes a large amount of time to earn what little bit we can get.
Mr. Benson?
Oh, yes, but for the last 20 or so years, I've been working for nonprofit. Anybody familiar with nonprofit know every year you got to try to make your budget, find the money to make your budget. And we've learned how to stretch a dollar, stretch it. And what we learned is, first thing, most important, you got to find what your need is, So even with Sampson County, find what we need in the way of teachers, resources, and then you govern your budget around that. Unfortunately, sometimes with budgets, you have to make shortcuts, and sometimes people have to be, situate things to be cut off, but mainly find your budget and find the resources, and that goes back to the earlier thing with community involvement, to try to find other resources other than what the state and the local county budget is. But mainly, determine what your needs are. Once you determine your needs, then you build your budget based off your needs.
Thank you. Again, Sampson County Schools does not have any local charter schools. However, there are local private schools that students attend. What is your view on voucher programs that allow parents to use public funds to send their children to private schools? Mrs. Bradshaw?
Well, there again, I am all about the public schools. I just believe we have a quality education here. I do not think that state funds should be used for private schools. I think state funds should be used for our public schools. If people want to form a private school, then that is just it. It's private funds for private education. I just don't see us funding that. I believe that we need to take all of our resources and build our quality education here in our county schools.
Thank you.
That's very important.
Thank you. Mr. Shabbat?
I'm very much behind public schools and private public schools. It's just not realistic. Private school is the ideal world, small class size, teachers have unlimited resources. That's great and all, but it's not realistic. And when our students graduate, they're going to go to a university with 400 or 500 people in a class. Professor does not know their name, and they could care less if they show up, because they're getting paid either way. So we want to set our students up to be successful. We want to let them know that, hey, not everybody is here for the same reason, but we need to make the best of the situation. We need to build our relationships with our colleagues, because Lord knows we might be end up working with them one day. You go to college together, that kind of thing. So I think it's just realistic to focus on public schools. Let's build our youth. Let's make us strong, our society grow, and use our money wisely. Let's not spread it thin. If you spread it thin between all these different school systems, and we aren't covering the needs that we need in our public school society today.
Thank you. Mr. Basin?
I agree with Ms. Bradshaw. I think our resources should be focused on the public schools. If they are private schools, then they should find the private funding to support those schools. We have no problem with private schools, but I think our vouchers and the funding should be focused on supporting the private schools. And being a product of public schools, I think I know what the dedication that goes behind that, working in the public schools, understand that, even collaborating with the public school system, I know the effort. So I think if funding is available, state funding, federal funding, the vouchers should be geared towards the public schools.
Thank you. Mr. Hayes?
I am adamantly against public vouchers for charter schools. They're not held to the same standard as our public schools are, and the private school can pick and choose the students that they really want. And once that voucher is at that charter school and the child or that public school, and the child returns back to public school, we have lost that money for the year. And I've seen that happen within the Sampson County School District.
Thank you. What is a school board member's role and responsibility? How does that role differ from the role of the superintendent and administration? Mr. Chabot?
So the school board member, our basic job is to manage the budget. Make sure the budget that is, given to us, that we have enough money to fit our needs for our students and to make our system run successfully. We also want to make sure that we support our superintendent at all times. If they have the vision, which we created together, right? And I think it's important to back our superintendent to provide, respect and feedback when needed, and just build that relationship. And our job is also to listen, to take in our I don't want to say advice, but our concerns with our teachers, with our parents and our community, to be advocates for our students. And if we can, manage those three things, I think that school board member will be successful.
Thank you. Mr. Basin?
School board is to, first, as you said, manage the budget, support the superintendent, but also I think as a board member who represents the county, you should be visible in the county. At the schools, I understand sometimes work obligations may prevent that, but being available in schools, because superintendent can't possibly be in all places every time, so show themselves in the community so the schools, even students, will know who they are, but mainly to manage the budget, to keep an open line of communication with the superintendent, and to support the superintendent who you put faith in by hiring them for that position.
Thank you. Mr. Hayes?
Well, beyond the supporting the budget and supporting the superintendent, you also have to ensure that the mandates from the state, that our policies are in line with those mandates, and as well as be an ear for the community and a voice for those parents and teachers and students.
Thank you. Mrs. Bradshaw?
Yes, I think we have to certainly adhere to state guidelines, but as a board member, I am here as a conduit between the students, the teachers, parents, Board of Education, and the County Finance Office to bring the best education to our county. That's the whole purpose. Whether it is in reading, writing, and arithmetic, the basics there, or improving our buildings and building new buildings, I think we have to take all that into consideration as a board member and work with, their dad, kind of a sounding board for students and teachers as to what they think the needs for the community are.
Thank you. Let's move to teacher demographics. According to the school system's racial equity report card, students of color comprise 63% of the school system's demographics, yet teachers of color only represent 19% of Sampson County Schools' teaching force. Digging deeper, LatinX students are the largest demographic at roughly 40%, yet represent less than 5% of the teachers employed with Sampson County Schools. The black student-teacher ratio is more proportional at 18% versus 15%. What can be done in Sampson County Schools to attract and retain a teaching force that is more proportionally representative of the student demographics? Mr. Faison.
I know some counties offer incentive, they bring in recruit teachers, they offer bonuses, they come and stay for a set number of years. Those are things Sampson County school system can look into doing, finding, because it's going to always end up being about resources and being able to find, to recruit the people. Yes, there is a problem with the ratio, but at the end of the day, it's going to be about resources, doing training, offering bonuses, offering incentives, even the teacher assistants, instruction support staff. Some counties offer means for them to go back to school, get their degree, if they'll come back and teach in these certain areas. So that, I think, offering incentives, all boiled down to economics for to get teachers to come out. Bonuses is working in some counties that may not be feasible for Sampson County, but incentive to encourage those already in-house TAs to go back and get their degree, and with understanding they'll come back and work. I think that would really help, because then they're homegrown.
Thank you. Mr. Hayes?
Definitely we want homegrown teachers, especially out, we have a lot of TAs that may have their 4 years degree, but they're having issues with passing the praxis. I would love to see a possible county assistance with a professional development to assist those TAs that do qualify with a 4-year degree to get some type of support in order of passing the praxis. That way they can fill those spots in exceptional children where there's vacancies, as well as in mathematics and science. I would also, we do a lot with Teach for America. That is a great program, but too many times they're gone in 2 years once their time is up. So if we could continue to develop our own through TAs, hiring a TA with the 4-year degree, you might have to pay them a little bit more as a TA, but you want to help them further their career in education.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes. Ms. Bradshaw?
Okay, it seems like what I'm hearing is like we need to offer packages, we need to offer money for teachers to come in. I think that if you can't have a passion for what you do, then a lot of times the money is not going to make a difference. I think effective teachers are the most important factor contributing to student achievement. If we have teachers who are excited and motivated and go into the classroom, then they're going to influence and inspire those students to want to do the same thing. And I think that's what we have to have. We have to hire good teachers, but I think we have to hire teachers who are more than just a teacher. They're a compassionate person who has a passion for teaching, and that will inspire students to want to be a teacher that set an example for them.
Thank you. Mr. Chabot?
You know, it is important that we're culturally diverse. Education is, we don't match our students. We know that. That's been a problem for a while. And if there's no right answer, if we knew the right answer, it'd be fixed by now. I don't think bonuses work. When people come in and work their 2 years, they're gone. Teachers are here because they love the profession. That's the reason I'm in education. I've chased the dollar. The reason I'm an educator is because a teacher made a difference in my life, and I want to make that difference in my students' life. So if we can start at our high schools, maybe introduce teacher ed programs in our local high schools, get those students that are from all these different backgrounds, culturally diverse, let's put them in these programs, set them up for success. Do some micro teaching in high school. I'm doing that currently with the internship program in my classroom right now. And if we can guide these students in high school, maybe align with a university, work out I don't want to say tuition assistance, but maybe a grant or something that could be funded through the local, businesses or something like that, provide some type of assistance, I think we will see that return upon investment. We will see our students come back to our schools, and at the end of the day, our demographics will match who we teach.
Thank you. Sampson County Schools operates a virtual alternative school for students who have been removed from their home schools for an extended period of time. Students are loaned an electronic device and a smartspot so that they can access their online classes while at home. They are allowed to attend a weekly 2-hour evening academy if they can provide their own transportation. What are your thoughts on the Sampson County Schools Virtual Alternative Program? As a school board member, would you support this type of program? Mr. Hayes.
Well, currently, I work with that program within the Union District. The program works for some students that have the intellectual ability to be able to learn online, but I've also seen it fail students that do not have the discipline or the parental guidance to properly support them. So I would encourage to look at other avenues than what we currently have. I really think it's failing too many of our students.
Thank you. Mrs. Bradshaw?
I think in a situation like that, one-on-one, face-to-face, would be more helpful to a student to bring them up to a level and help their behavioral situation if they work face-to-face and one-on-one with somebody. I just think that would be more beneficial for the student.
Thank you. Mr. Chabot?
In today's society, we have a lot of distractions, and trying to keep a student motivated on a laptop, it's just not realistic. I find myself getting distracted taking classes online and stuff like that. I think face-to-face is probably the best. That comes into the whole idea with the budget. We want all these great things, but what's realistic? So I don't want to say a hybrid. Maybe we do part of it online, part of it face-to-face. We still give those students interaction. We can keep them, I don't say regulated, but accountable for what they're doing. And if they're meeting with that person weekly or however often it needs to be financially feasible, we can keep those students where they need to be. 100% online, I don't necessarily know if that's what we need to be focusing on.
Mr. Payson?
No, I wouldn't support it as a board member. The reason being, we used to go to when the Sampson County School had alternative school at the old Charles E. Perry location. We went and we were hands-on, face-to-face with the young people. And the thing is, they're there for a reason. They're alternative school for a reason. Behavior is not it, and some just don't want to go to school. So thinking a laptop, they're going to do what they're supposed to do. I don't know what the data is for the success rate on it, but I didn't think it was a wise choice when I was doing the research. But I do know hands-on going to the alternative schools, face them. Because a lot of these young people, let's be honest, they don't want to go to school. So they're being made by parents. Sometimes even some are even on parole, unfortunately. So to be there hands-on, I think is more important for the staff to be able to deal with them online. We live in a technology world, but I just think for that population of young people, it's not going to be successful.
Thank you. Next question. To what degree are Sampson County School students on track for post-secondary readiness? How do you know? Mrs. Bradshaw?
Well, actually, I do not know. I'm here to find out what we can do for our students. I feel like we're on track. However, I feel like we need to investigate and find more resources to help our students to achieve higher goals.
Thank you. Mr. Chabot?
I think it's very much ingrained in what we're doing today. Between, you hear it to blue in the face, our students are career and college ready. They're ready for the workforce. CTE focuses a lot on that. We have certifications and stuff that, you could pretty much walk out of high school and go to work with somebody tomorrow. OSHA certification, welding certifications, a lot of that's done through the community college as well, if certificate programs are needed for employment. I think we can always improve upon what we have. I think we're headed in the right direction. I think CTE is kind of making a change already and going more towards the certification at post-secondary because a lot of our students are interested in that hands-on learning. They want to go to a four-year university, but, you know, I don't want to say a job to fall back on, but, you know, it's an interest. It's relevant, it's important, and it's what our community is built on. Hard work, dedication, agriculture, we see it every single day, and if we can provide our students that opportunity, I think they'll be successful in life.
Thank you.
Could you repeat the question, please?
I will. To what degree are Sampson County School students on track for post-secondary readiness? How do you know?
Just based on the scores that we're getting from the counselors and from the school district, the scores have shown an increase in the school system. Still, Mr. Chico said, room for improvement. Programs like Mr. Hayes referred to, Up and Down, has been very, very inspirational in helping it with that. I know some kind of schools are on an increase, showing positive growth, but we always can do better.
Thank you. Mr. Hayes?
I measure the success of our students by the number of certificates they get as they complete their CTE, the CTE Honor Society inductions, because they're coming out ready to go work in the daycares, ready to work as a CNA, ready to be a welder with a certificate, as well as the number of students that are engaging in the Career and College Promise through Sampson Community College, taking those community college classes. Some of them are being able to get their associate's degree while still in high school. So that's how I gauge if our students are ready, if they're ready to be a productive citizen of Sampson County and the state of North Carolina and the world at large.
Thank you. Please give our candidates a round of applause. At this time, we're going to hear from some local citizens. So please approach the podium if you have a question and indicate if your question is for an individual or the entire panel when you are proposing it. Okay. Let's give all of our candidates one more round of applause.
I'm principal at Midway Elementary School. My question to you, this is for the panel. If elected, what steps will you take to ensure that you are a champion for all students, all staff members, as well as all administrators across Sampson County Schools?
We'll start with Mr. Chabot.
That's a tough one. I think that comes with being approachable, great listener, just providing opportunities, whether it's giving out, I'm not sure legally, but you're allowed to give out your cell phone, email address, that kind of thing. But providing an avenue to talk to them, if you're visible, if you're at their schools, if you're seeing what they got going on, basketball games, football games, FFA competitions, whatever you're there for, allow them the opportunity to approach you and talk about maybe some concerns, or maybe some things that are going great that you'd like to see more of. And I think that just being visible, allowing them to approach you, maybe not in the board setting, that might make you more easily approachable for everyone. And like I said, just being readily available, whether it's a email or whatever.
Mr. Mason.
Good question, Ms. Cooper. I think in order to help someone with what they need, you got to understand. So you got to be able to understand what they need. So the young people, the students, the teachers, principals, you should set up, if it's nothing else, a forum like this, to get a better understanding of what they need. But once you understand what they need, then you can better help them. And that starts with open line of communication, and then understanding, and making the time. As a board member, if you accept the responsibility of being on the board, then you have to make the time to serve those you're serving. You're a servant. And so you make the time to listen and understand.
Mr. Hayes.
I feel being able to listen, being available, and also to be a champion. I am a parent, I am an educator, I am a member of the community. So I will avail myself as such.
Thank you. Mrs. Bradshaw.
What I would like to do is have each school actually submit to the board questions and concerns that they have, and us to look at it as a board, and cumulative look at questions and concerns that each school has and see where it all fits in, so that we can deal with it as a board throughout the county. I think that I would like to visit all the schools, see not only the facilities, but see what's going on in the classrooms. And that way, if I know firsthand what I'm looking at, then I can help make decisions for all the schools and make sure that we are being equitable with funds and with the resources that are being offered to us.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? At least we did get one. Alrighty then. Remember, this event serves. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. Being a former graduate of Hobbton High School, and I realize that all the other schools in the county, they've basically gotten new schools. Just wondering if you have any insight as to what your approach would be if the community and the Newton Grove area wanted to see Hobbton High School with a new school as well as the other schools. What would be your approach?
Thank you so much. We'll start with Mr. Faison.
Great question, Mr. Board. Actually, that's been a concern of mine. I went to Union, but now I stay in the Hobbton District, but I serve the whole county. And I realize, as you said, every district, the Hobbton High School is there, is as it has been all my life, whereas the other district has had new schools. And so my approach would be that we need to seriously come to the table and talk about finding resources to make this school possible. Because we need, it's antiquated, and so I agree we need a new school, and the community, have input from the community and everybody.
Mr. Hayes?
Definitely, there's a need in the Hobbton district as well as in the Lakewood district. And I would support the board looking into how we could fund them, especially through the North Carolina State Lottery, how we could utilize those funds.
Thank you. Mrs. Bradshaw?
I also am from the Hobbton district, and I've heard all the complaints and I've heard all the issues, and I can't come in here and say, okay, we're gonna build a new school for Hobbton. But what we have to do is, there is a budget that first and foremost kind of rules what's going on. But we need to find out what type of resources that, in addition to our county budget, would be available. And we need to kind of make an itinerary of what the work needs are and go from there and definitely do some changing structurally to our facilities in the county.
Mr. Chabot?
Facilities are always a number one concern, safe, orderly environments for our students, and I don't know if we have a right answer. I think if we had the budget, obviously we'd build a new school. I think needs-based assessment needs to be done. Let's see what we need to fix. Is it worth time, benefit analysis? Is it worth our time? Do we need to look at, building a new school, that kind of thing? And I'm sure the research is there. It's just a matter of making it work. And I think that's the challenge that the board's going to have, is to meet the needs of the Hobbton district, provide something that's, and to provide something that we can implement in a timely manner and not drag it along.
Thank you so much. Remember, this event serves as a conversation starter, so please feel free to engage the candidates after we leave this space. So at this time, each candidate will now share his or her closing remarks. Please tell us why you should be elected to the Sampson Middle Board of Education, and we'll start with Mr. Hayes.
Like I said before, I am a product of Sampson County. My children are products of Sampson County schools. I have experience as a parent leader, experience as an educator. I don't feel like we have time for a novice to take a seat on the Board of Education. If you want experience, please write in Raymond Hayes.
Mrs. Bradshaw?
My purpose to run is to be able to represent, number one, the students of our community, regardless of what school district they attend. They all deserve the best that Sampson County has to offer. I served Sampson County for more than 10 years as registered of deeds and would like to continue that service in the capacity of a board member for the Sampson County Board of Education. With the leadership experience I have, I feel that I would be an asset to the board. I have had to work with budgets, and of course I work with the planning committee. We need to build Sampson County's future, not only in industry. I know that our county finance office is continually trying to build and get new industries in, and that's wonderful, that's great, that's how our county is going to grow. But also in education, we need to build our education so that our students who become adults will see a reason to stay in our community. We have some large industries in our county, and rather than bring employees in from other cities and other states, we need to entice our college students to return to us for a future with their families. I think that's important to make that, to entice them to come back. When professionals are looking to move to Sampson County, we need to be able to offer their children a premium education in our public schools. We want them to feel and know that our school system will match any private school that is around, and it will. I also want the children and students of Sampson County to feel they have a special place in our schools. We need to uplift them in every way that we can. We want the schools to be a place they can be proud of and want to be a part of. And I want them to feel as though they are an integral part of the life in our county. Not only do I want to be a voice for the students, I want to be a voice for the teachers. I want to listen to what they have to tell us. What better resource than our teachers who are face-to-face with our students? And I believe that by listening to them, we can build a phenomenal education in Sampson County.
Thank you. Mr. Chabot?
As an educator, I deal with the same issues that Sampson County Schools deal with every single day. And I believe, I work in 3 other counties, Robson County, Cumberland County, and Sampson County. And yes, we do have needs, we do have things we need to work on, but guys, we have it pretty good. I'll go ahead and tell you that. Do we need growth? Do we need things, improvement? Yes, facilities and stuff like that. But I think the board needs a change. I think I could offer a little bit of insight. You know, working in 3 other counties, I've seen how these schools operate, how the counties work. Also youth. I don't know many people my age just want to run for a position like this. I think it's important to be an advocate for our community, for our children. I don't have children currently, but I hope to have some in the future. And my students would be going, or my students, oh, I'm sorry. My kids would be going to Sampson County schools. And, you know, I want to provide the resources and my know-how to make this Sampson County schools the best that it can be for our youth, for our teachers, because I understand the struggle. So I want to do everything we can to make Sampson County awesome. So if you haven't voted yet, please keep me in mind, Nathan Chabot.
Thank you. Mr. Faison?
First of all, I want to thank you for giving us this platform. I want to thank my people, my family for coming and support. As a 7th grader, I attended Turkey Elementary School. It was part of the Sampson County school system. We had a gym, we didn't have an electric scoreboard, we had the numbers on a wheel. We didn't have a football and basketball team. So as a 7th grader, I wrote a letter to the Sampson County Board of Education asking why we couldn't have a team. The board responded, and they allowed me and my cousin to play. Dr. Larry Bell, who was Mr. Larry Bell, coached at Union, he would meet us on Needmore Road every day. Mr. Chabot know what Needmore Road is, thank you. And he would bring us home. We ended up letting me have a basketball team that year. All the other schools had them, and we got them. Somebody on that board listened to that 7th grade young boy. I want to be on that board so I can listen to the 7th graders, the parents of the 7th graders, the family of the 7th graders. And I think sometimes you got to toot your own horn. I'm probably one of them, probably best candidates they can choose to hold one of those seats. So what I would ask, if you haven't voted, vote for Glenn Faison. That's 2 N's. Thank you.
Please give all of our candidates a round of applause. We would like to thank you all so very much for watching this episode of Tar Heel Teachers on the Road. Next up, I'm visiting Cleveland County, and I'll be visiting West Elementary and Springmore Elementary, as well as having an in-depth conversation with the superintendent, Dr. Stephen Fisher. I'm looking forward to that. So we look forward to seeing you next time on Tar Heel Teachers on the Road.